Translation. Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. Oh my gosh. I'm tired. Get a little caffeine. Hopefully this will get me to the airport where I can hopefully get a coffee. My alarm's going to go off in about 2 minutes to let me know that I have to leave my room for the shuttle. We're taking the 4:30 shuttle. So if you watched yesterday's video, you know that it took us more than an hour to get a shuttle to the hotel. We only had a 12-hour layover. So, between deplaning and then getting through customs and waiting for the shuttle, we only had a 12-hour layover. And then you add all of that, plus, subtract that, then subtract the time it takes for us to get from the hotel, wake up, get to the shuttle, get to the airport, go through a TSA, subtract that again from the 12 hours. We really didn't have a very long layover. When I looked up after saying goodbye to you guys, I had about 9 hours, less than 9 hours. And by the time I got in bed and, I ate and got in bed, I probably had about 7 hours of sleep. And then I woke up a few times. So, yeah, I did not sleep very well. This bed, very nice, did not work its magic as it did yesterday. Complain, bitch and moan, bitch and moan. So, we are flying home today. So, that is a silver lining. Didn't you love how I just wiped my mouth? I'm so sorry. You know I'm comfortable with you. So I'm going to go downstairs. My bags are all packed. I've made a second look around for cables and jewelry and everything else I can potentially leave behind. That's my alarm that says leave the room now. And put my hat on and adventure home. So I will see you later. Yeah, I didn't get lucky this time. I got randomed. And here in Houston, we're doing the drug sniffing dog, so I had to go through most of regular TSA to get here. I might be late for the gate, but I have a reason. Alright, so I was not late for the gate. I did make it to the gate on time, plenty of time, especially since they had to do a security search before we were able to get on. Our flight from Houston was completely full. Actually, I lied, we had like 3 open seats, but it was pretty darn full, which is definitely a good thing. The flight was easy, mostly because we had a fair amount of turbulence most of the flight, so we only were able to do 1 snack and beverage service, and that was an expedient one because the turbulence was pretty significant. Easy flight, great crew, passengers for the most part slept the entire time, so no worries there. All in all, very easy, 2 hours, 50-something minutes, I think, almost 3 hours. Yeah, super duper. So, apparently my badge expires at the end of this month, and we were told to pick up new badges in the crew room. So I decided to stay at the airport and wait to see when a supervisor would show up, because there were none here when I first arrived. There were none, so I went and had breakfast over at Wendy's. Coming back through security again to get to the crew room, I was randomed a second time for today. I didn't think that was possible. I thought there was a 24-hour sort of window once you got randomed, but maybe that's in the same airport. I don't know, but I got random going through security again, no problem, because I left my bags in the crew room. And, yeah, I was able to get our new emergency checklists. I was able to get those. Got everything except for my new badge. The machine is broken or something, so we're going to have to wait for our badges, which will mean I'll have to come back to the airport before my next trip on my days off, which I don't want to do, but worse things have been asked of me. So I am going to head home, give the cat some treats, and then we're all going to go to bed. We're all going to take a nice little nap. Then I have to pack up 2 eBay sales. I sold a hot air balloon model a few days ago, and then this morning someone bought a Wizard of Oz Christmas ornament for $20. So I made about $62 on those 2 sales, so not bad, right? So I sold a couple things. I have to drop off those things at the post office today. But that's my goal. That's my only thing so far. I will see you after my nap. All right, toodaloo. Hello, Eleanor. Hello, buddy. Yeah. We had a good nap. We had a good nap with Daddy. Hey guys, hi! So it is almost the end of the day. I got home, loved on the cats, gave them some treats, and we all went to bed. And I just woke up maybe an hour and a half ago. I slept all day. I have to get these packages off to eBay, off to my eBay purchase, their buyers. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I mean, the day's already passed. I've done nothing but sleep. It's the best, really. All right, so I dropped off those sales, and it looks like I've got something waiting for me. What could it be? Number 82, way over here. Huh, okay. What is that? It's very heavy. And this, also very heavy. All right, so this is embarrassing. I have covered the table in all sorts of stuff, and I wasn't filming. I wasn't even filming. So, to recap, what was inside my P.O. box? I got a package from Kevin, who sent me a Christmas card, wishing me a happy Christmas. And what did the cat say on Christmas Day? Let's party. Very cute. Inside, he sent me a Trader Joe's gingerbread man who is now an amputee because I've already eaten his arm. He sent me some Belgian chocolates. And, well, and I believe there was the candy cane was in there as well, which I am definitely going to enjoy for all of Christmas. I got a card from Carolyn. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? I would love to do Christmas cards one year, but I'm never going to do it. I do my videos. And somebody sent me a package. I don't know who it is. Again, it is always a mystery as to who sends me these things because they're using my P.O. box as the return address, and I don't know who it was. It is a mystery. But inside is a fistful of Buddy's favorite treats. Eleanor will still, she loves these too. She loves these. She's a pig. She'll eat anything. But she loves the churro. I give her the churro because Buddy doesn't like the churros, but he does love his delectable squeeze-ups. And inside, wrapped up, was this little Anna Lee doll. Look at the chubby little cheeks. Look at the chubby little cheeks. Look at that. So I'm going to put this on the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is up. It has been up for a little while because Eleanor loves to sleep under the Christmas tree. It's her favorite place to be in the house is under the Christmas tree. So the tree is up. It's not decorated, but I'm going to put this little guy or gal, I think it's a guy, on the tree. I am super excited. He is so sweet. You know who's going to be jealous of me for this is my friend Carrie. She loves Anna Lee dolls. But thank you, thank you, thank you. This feels like I just opened up a Christmas stocking. And it's only the 4th or the 5th. It's the 5th. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Now I have to collect this up. I feel sort of embarrassed. The post office is full and this table is covered in Christmas. I will see you guys later with whatever happens the rest of the day. I'll see you soon. Well, I ate the entire gingerbread cookie. Very yummy. Because I need to have my strength so I could go into Goodwill. I decided to hit up a Goodwill. It's a Friday night. I'm hoping it's not too busy in there. And I hope there's at least one thing I can get that can bring me a little bit of money. Just one thing. That's all I ask. The shelves look very, very sparse. Christmas cat mug. Yeah, there's just almost nothing on the shelves here. Oh, I found a little hourglass. I have a collection I did not mean to start, but I've got a little collection of these on a shelf, and I think that'd be interesting to add to that collection. So, and for $3, I'll do that. But there really is not much here. Yeah. Oh well. Things I would have picked up when I first started thrifting, this brown bag cookie mold. It's of a little gingerbread house for $3. They do not sell for much. And I literally would have picked this up because it just looked interesting. It's a salt glaze pitcher from some property that's neighboring Monticello in DC, I think. But yeah, no. This has got to be the most anticlimactic Goodwill visit ever. I got these hangers. I'm going to hang some ties off of these and a stupid hourglass. Nothing else. And there's a ton of people in here. We're all wandering around, pawing at empty shelves. It's just like, it looks like a bunch of zombies. It's just not good. So I am going to get out of here. All right, let's set you up here. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome home. Vlogmas day 5, not terribly exciting so far. I do apologize. Nothing really happened. I woke up super early in Houston, flew here to Las Vegas. Super easy flight, great crew. Most of our passengers were sleeping, and we had some turbulence, which kind of rocked them to sleep, which is fun. Got home, a little disappointed I couldn't get my new badge, but I did get some paperwork for my required items, which is good. Went home after getting a bite to eat, loved on the cats for a while, took a nap for probably 3.5, 4 hours, if not more. I did pop over to the post office and drop off 2 eBay sales. I'm very happy with those. And I think I told you or showed you, I popped into a Goodwill. I didn't find much. I found 2 hangers where I can hang some ties after I list them on eBay. I need to do that. And a little hourglass. I did go to a second Goodwill on the way home. I did not film anything. I did buy an Orvis. I love Orvis. Good, solid Orvis. I just love it. It's a sort of adventure outdoors clothing line. It just looks like money met the woods. You know, I just love Orvis. And it's this kind of a plaid number over shirt, like a little jacket, which is great. And I found a very heavy cotton gray turtleneck. It's made by H&M of all people, but I tried it on and oh my God, it looks so rich. I actually put it on under this flannel and I can't wait to show you that. It's really smart. So I picked up some things. Went to Walmart, bought some things, and that's my day. That was my day. Not terribly exciting. So I figured I'm going to remember this piece of paper? These are Carol's questions. She mailed me not long ago. I'm going to hit a few of these questions and just finish this day up with a Q&A. The big hitting questions were from a few days ago. These questions that are following are just a little bit easier and a little bit more lightweight. So let's tackle the rest of these questions and that'll be the end of Vlogmas and the last time you'll see this piece of paper. So, if you are permitted to talk about this with your company, what is it like to be in the cockpit during flight? I've noticed the flight attendant will enter the cockpit while captain or first officer comes out to use the restroom. Do you enjoy looking at the cockpit windows? So what Carol's describing here is what we call our flight deck procedure. If one of the pilots has to come out and use a restroom, because they don't have one up on the flight deck, one of us is going to go inside the flight deck. There has to be 2 people in the flight deck at all times. And we have our own process that we follow. Every airline has their own procedure. I cannot describe ours. Or what happens and who says what and blah, blah, blah. Because it is safety information. But it is very cool to go up in front. I love going up in front. Somebody has to stay in the back. But it's really fascinating to see the outline of cities at night with the street lights, and it's just really neat. Once in a while I can figure out what city we're flying over because it has a very particular footprint. It's just fascinating. I've seen the Milky Way once, and every time I step out into the flight deck during the day, the different cloud formations, they're different every single day. Every moment, they're different and always interesting. You know I love clouds, right? So one of the neatest parts, and I think about my ex-boyfriend, Mark, often. Mark was my last boyfriend before I moved to Las Vegas. At sunset, he'd like to point out that at sunset, just for a split second, in the rainbow of colors that you could see in the sunset, there'd be a little tiny thin pale line of green. And he always looked for that because it seemed to be the most elusive of colors at a sunset. This little teeny flash of green, he would point it out. And I didn't see it many times. But up in the air, when we're at sunrise or sunset, you can frequently see almost the whole rainbow of colors up there. And sometimes there's a broad stripe of like aqua and green and teal almost. And every time I think of my ex-boyfriend Mark fondly, we really didn't have a great relationship. But I did love the fact that he enjoyed minutia, little teeny things like, seeing that little whisper of green that I seem to appreciate. So our relationship was not great, but we did both see small things and appreciate them. So that's one thing I liked about Mark. There's some other things I liked about Mark I can't talk about on camera. Yes. So, are there stray cats in your neighborhood? Do you feed them like you feed these stray cats at your old apartment? I think there's one stray cat that I've seen with any regularity here, but it also could be a neighborhood cat. It looks very well fed. It's a big cat. And since I leave my front door open, it's open right now, Buddy likes to hang out in front of the door there, just to get the air and look outside. And I think this other cat recognizes the smell of Buddy, so he comes up, and I think it's a boy, comes up close to the front door, and Buddy just runs up to the window and then down to the door, up to the window and down to the door. He's, there's a cat. But I don't feed them. I don't feed them because there's only one. And again, I think he's a neighborhood house cat that someone lets outside just because he looks so healthy. I have an HOA. I'm part of an HOA that forbids feeding stray cats. It forbids feeding pigeons. I did that once. I got in trouble, so I don't do it, at least here at the house. I will throw food out into a parking lot if I see pigeons, if I have something with me. But no, I don't feed stray cats around the house because there aren't many. And I've answered that question 3 times. Let's see. Have you been to all 50 states? If not, is it a goal of yours? No. No. There are places I don't care to go. I don't think I need to see South Dakota or Wyoming. Montana does have a little gravity. I wouldn't mind going to see Montana, which I think is called the Big Sky State, or Big Sky is known in Montana, which I'm sure it's the same sky in Wyoming and South Dakota. But I used to have a friend a long time ago online. We never met in person, but her screen name was called Montana Jan, and she was a farm wife, and she would help her cattle give birth. I mean, she was a real farm woman, and farm wife. And we were on the same chat page once years and years ago. And she just used to love describing her home state to me. And so Wyoming, Montana, I should say, has a little bit of an allure. But there are many states I don't see any need to go to. Arkansas, why? I have no idea. So to go to all 50 states, no desire. None. There are some states I wish I have never gone to. Let's see. Top 5 celebrity crushes. I don't have any. I really don't follow celebrities. The only crush I've ever kind of had was on Tom Selleck back when he was in Magnum P.I. Oh my God. Oh God, what's the other one? Sam Elliott. Probably 20 years ago. Now he's just really old. But I used to think Sam Elliott was absolutely gorgeous. But you can see by looking at the two of them, I have a type. I never date that type, but I definitely have a type that I look at, and that's that. But I'll tell you that the people, when you say celebrity, if I were to be asked if any celebrities have ever really affected me, or have I ever been inspired by, I'd have to say Elizabeth Montgomery. She was the wife on Bewitched. She was the witch on Bewitched. Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. And what was her name that was in the Bionic Woman? Lindsay Wagner. Yes, buddy. Buddy? He gave me one plaintive cry. But those are three women that I think have been very inspirational in not crushes, but definitely girl crush, I guess I could say. I've always been more inspired by strong women than I have been men. And I'm not sure what that means, but I've always been more inspired by women. Like Michelle Obama is another girl crush I would have, because I think Michelle Obama is a goddess among women. But yeah, that's that. All-time favorite home-cooked meal. My grandmother's gravy, which would be spaghetti sauce to many of you. She had this pot that was larger than my torso that she had had for probably 50 years. And it was probably her mother's. And she had that on the stove all day, all day. And she didn't make it often, but we would eat a lot of pasta. And she made her own gravy. She made her own sauce, and it was this huge simmering pot. And she would throw in chicken breasts. She'd make meatballs. She'd make brujol, which is like a stuffed, rolled up piece of beef, and use little toothpicks to hold that together. She would throw anything, pork chops simmered in tomato sauce. Oh my God, my mouth is watering. Chicken breasts, brujol, meatballs, and it would all just be simmering in this tomato, this gravy for hours and hours and hours, all day long. And my job was to taste it and make sure it was okay. So she would take out a piece of bread and she put it in a little bowl and she'd ladle some of the gravy on top, and I would be the one who was tasked to say whether or not it was good. And it was always good. But I think about that gravy and I kind of want to cry a little bit. Because even as a kid, I liked my pasta plain. Like the littlest, teeniest bit of sauce on it, little tiny bit, just so it was like vaguely colored. I liked it very plain. And then as I got older, I appreciated the work that went into that meal and the love that went into that meal. And I've never had anything else that brought me so much peace and joy. And just thinking about that big, huge pot simmering on the stove kind of makes me want to cry a little bit, because I do miss her still. Let's see. Will you be able to take advantage of flight benefits after you retire, or is it only available to you as a working flight attendant? With my airline, we get we can get retirement benefits as long as I've been with the company for a minimum of 10 years and I've reached 55 years old, or some combination of 55, 10. So I'm clearly past 55. I will have entered my 10th year this coming March. I won't get those. If I left the airline, I wouldn't really receive those benefits until after I finished my 10th year and I was entering into my 11th, just by because of the date I was hired in March. So yes, I would have retirement flight benefits, which I think are above other airlines. I think in terms of seniority, in terms of who can get on the flight, I forget. Or honestly, that might be the last person on board. I'm not quite sure, but I'll find out, because I'll be here until I can't lift a suitcase. So those are the questions that Carol had asked. So I want to thank Carol very much for that. There are a ton of questions that you guys have asked that I've left in the comment section that I have not addressed. I keep thinking, I'll address that later, or when there is more appropriate time to answer those questions. So If you have a question and you see that I haven't answered it, and it's still in the little comment section without a heart next to it, I will get to that question at some point, I promise. But that is the end of Vlogmas Day 5. So it ended up just being a Q&A. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for your patience in me not doing much today. Blah, blah, blah. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, fly safe. Bye.